Welcome to Level Up with CMJ. Hey, my name is Joe, and this is my Craps Master dice shooting journey. Let's make it yours too. Today's episode number 291 of the Level Up program, and day number 1 of the black belt. So we finally made it to the almost kind of end of the black belt program, and I'll explain in probably about 6 to 8 months what I mean by kind of the end. But anyhow, this is day number 1 of the black belt, and we're going to be continuing on our dice shooting journey. If you're new to the program, this is all about my practicing of shooting the dice at the craps table, and also practicing a blue-collar craps style of betting at the table as well. If you're playing along with Crapsee, the code today is G4L4W8. In the chat, we got Demon Dog Chris checking in first, but he said he has a work meeting, so he's not going to be able to watch too much of it. Uncle Hoku's checking in. We got Randy Hill, Coffee Land, Kevin Smith, Rick S., Coach Joe, Lazy Dog, and Chris from Dice Degen. On the kick.com side of things, we got Jason Nielsen checking in. And make sure you guys do check that out. It is a little bit more of a live or real time. We also got Red checking in on kick.com side things as well. And Fuzzy, well, welcome to everybody. Anyhow, just a really quick recap. I put a updated video or a live stream out yesterday on the way home, driving anywhere between 0 miles an hour and 80 miles an hour. It was about 9 minutes long. Kind of gave a little bit of a recap of my Joliet trip, but just to kind of make things out there or whatever. I got down there Friday night. We played at the I played at the Hollywood casino that night. I had a chance to shoot one time at the casino there, and I had somewhere in the mid-teens for my roll, and I made a little bit of money off myself, but not a lot. And the reason being is because 5 of those mid-teen rolls was an ace deuce. So I kept on hitting that ace deuce, and I was not able to, I didn't have any money on the bets, I guess, if you will. Good morning, Ed, checking in from the Roll to Win. We got JR Joel checking in. Anybody else? I'm not sure if anybody else came in here. Jeff Mid-Atlantic Craps, I think, popped in as well. So good morning to everybody. Anyhow, Saturday I went down to the table probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I was told that there's going to be about 3 or 4 people down there, and I get down there, it's a full table. It's a $10 table, but they only had one table open at the Harrah's, and it was full, so I did not play. Ended up going out to eat with Arnell and the girlfriend and Giuseppe and a friend of Giuseppe's. It was a good time. I had a good conversation. But then I went back to Harrah's, and we opened up the second table at about 10 o'clock in the morning. And I'll tell you what, we had probably 5 or 6 good shooters there, and none of us threw anything over probably 5. 5 rolls is probably the longest, except for one of the individuals on there who's a local, but has kind of joined into Corey Sith Lord SB's crew, and his name was Ed, and he had a monster roll. So I was in for, I know I said on the video yesterday, in for 500, but I was actually in for 700, and I was down to my last $100, and I was able to grind back, if you will, off that one roll from Ed. So I actually cashed out $200 down on that table. Then the girlfriend, myself, and Demon Dog Chris went over to the Hollywood to get something to eat. I had a bunch of food credit there, and I decided to jump on a table, Demon Dog, Chris, and myself, and then there's one other person on the table, so it's 3 people on the table, and I was the second shooter there, and I actually rolled in the mid to high 20s. And I made an extra, whatever, almost $400 back on that one. So overall, the trip, I was down $300 for the trip, which I consider a success because I was down quite a bit for a while there, and I worked my way back. I had a great time, met up with a bunch of people, Arnell, Alfredo, Demon Dog Chris, Coach Joe, Fuzzy was there, Giuseppe was there, Corey Sith Lord SB, Corey's friend Rich, Ed. I mean, there was a ton of people there, and I know for a fact that I'm missing some of the people there that was there, but it was a good time. A short trip, but it was a good time. But let's get started here, guys. We are going to start off with the black belt level here, and I'm working on the black belt video as we're talking here. I actually filmed it on on yesterday morning, and I started working on editing. It's going to be about a week before I can get that video out. But the basic gist of the black belt is we're going to be changing things around from what we're doing on the brown belt. Brown belt was all about variety. We're using different shooting positions, different grips, different throws, different dice sets. We're doing, you know, all these different things. But black belt, we're going to start honing things in again. We are going to learn another throwing position, so we're going to be learning from the end of the table position, so that we can pretty much throw from wherever at the table when you're there. But we're going to be starting to hone in on analyzing the dice results. And we're going to concentrate mostly on the 3V, 2V, and cross sixes dice set family. They're all kind of one family because the results all go together. You know, if you have a certain and I use the cousin 1 and cousin 2 terms, and guys, I put a video out last week on how to do the advanced rhythm rolling, so make sure you check that out. But we have the cousin 1, cousin 2 sets, and if you're in the cousin 1 set on the 3V, 2V, or cross sixes, the dice respond the same. If you're in the cousin 2 set on the 3V, 2V, cross sixes, the dice all respond the same. So we're going to concentrate the first 1,000 throws on the black belt here to analyzing the 3V dice set, getting it down cold, so that way we can just look at the dice and I can tell you exactly what they did, what we need to do going forward from the rhythm rolling perspective. Once we're done with that, we'll go through 1,000 with the 2V, and then after that, 1,000 with the cross sixes. And then after that, the last 1,000 to 2,000 throws, because the black belt level is going to be 6,000 throws. The last 1,000 to 2,000 throws, we're going to be bouncing between the 3 sets. So we'll do the advanced rhythm rolling style of things, and we'll be bouncing between the 3V, 2V, and cross sixes, depending on how the dice land at the table and depending on the mechanics that we used when throwing the dice. If it's decent mechanics, we're going to stick with the rhythm rolling. If it's a bad mechanics or a bad throw, we will stick with the last dice at that type of stuff. Good morning, Michael, and let's get started here, guys. I'm going to go back to my $10 table again. I'm done with that $15 table crap for a while. I feel for you guys who do the $15 and $25 tables as your normals. My normal is $10 on a weekend and holiday at my local casino, and I actually enjoy that because I do bet more than the $10 minimum at times, or most of the time I should say, but I have that regression point, so I can regress down to that $10 level and make hopefully better profits based off of that. So let's start off with a $10 pass line bet. I did not do any warm-ups today, so bet appropriately here with me. We'll start off with, actually we'll go with a $15 pass line bet, 555 on the ATS, and a $3 craps check here. We'll go all bets set here. We're going to start off with a 3-2-3-6 dice set. Things are going to be a little bit slow in the beginning here until I get used to analyzing the dice and what I need to do from the rhythm rolling perspective in that. But let's get started here. We got John GT checking in on kick.com as well. So welcome, everybody. Dice out. And I am going cold here. Dice out. A little bit short on that landing zone. We got OMC craps, all the dots and all the spots. Midnight to start off the roll for the day. So that is a pass line loser, but a craps check winner. Yeah, let me get KPI roll tracker engaged here. I had it engaged earlier, but I somehow disengaged it. There we go. That should be working. We'll get that entered in at Crapsee. Sorry about the long intro today, guys, but this is the beginning of the black belt level, so we're going to be working on that as we go. I'm not going to really analyze that last result, our first dice result, because that was not my normal landing zone. But if you were to analyze it, that was a single pitch on the right die, an explosion on the left die. But I'm not really taking too much stock again, like I said on that. So back up $15 on the pass line bet. We made $6 off of that. So let's throw an extra dollar in a crap check. So that's $4 on the crap check. Still in that 555 ATS. And let's call that all bet set here. Dice out. 3-2-3-6. Starting back at that again. And I'm used to throwing from further away. Remember, I was practicing the last week and a half, 2 weeks from 11 feet. We'll go back to this 9-foot mark. Yeah, we got a 5-1 KitchenAid mixer. So 6 will be our first point. And that's going to be a single pitch on that left die, as well as a single pitch in the same direction on that right die. So that's ultimately a primary hit. So we'll go back to the 3-2, 3-6. Yeah, 3-2, 3-6. So again, that was a 1 on the right. That was a 5 on the left. So that was a primary in the backside. So we're going to stick that way. Good morning, Buckeye checking in. What should we do for betting today? Again, I have $15 bets in mind here. Let's start off with just the skill 66 to start off with. We have a $1,500 bankroll to start with today, where our goal is to win $100 to $150. Again, that is the blue collar crap style play. Once we get to that with the money on the table as well as the money brought back to the rack, we should pull our money down and just play with extra profits for fun money in that. So let's go. All bets set. Dice out. 3-2, 3-6. And again, I got to get back down here to my normal throwing position. I got to get used to that again. A little bit short on that left eye. It kind of stuck in, but we have a 3-5 grade 8. We got from Great Craps. So 8 will be our first box hit here. So that second day yesterday at the Hollywood. Good morning, Ryan. Mark the Point checking in. At the Hollywood, I had that mid to high 20s roll. I ended up hitting the tall. All I need is the 2 for the small. I was just pounding the inside numbers, 5, 6, 8, and 9, just pounding them. And then we were able to, I was able to get out of the shooter in 4 rolls, I believe. And then from there, we're just starting to trend bet upwards. And now we got Cajun Craps checking in. Good morning. Lazy Dogs over at Kickside also. That was a primary in that left die. That was a implosion on the right die. And what I'm looking at, guys, is I'm remembering if I start off with a 3-2-3-6 dice set, I'm looking at the axes numbers in order to know if they're inputting or exporting. So on that left die, the axis is going to be the 1 on one side, the 6 on the other side. On the right die, we have a 2 and a 5. So that way I know, I'm watching the dice as they go down the table and which dice is doing what. So I know what the results are going to be. And one of the things I did, by the way, we're going to do 22 inside pressure. So 1 unit pressure on the inside, no odds yet on the pass line. We'll call that all bet set. One of the things I did notice, because I was practicing this style here with you guys prior to going on the Joliet trip, is I was able to actually analyze the dice a lot easier at the table. And I was watching to see what the dice were doing so I could make some minor adjustments. I did pretty much just do basic rhythm rolling down there, setting up with the 3-2, 3-6, and then coming back. And I stuck with the cousin one set the entire time for the most part. And we have a 5-2-7, ouch. So that's going to be a single pitch towards us on that left die. And that's an explosion on the right die. So that is the kiss of death. That's the warning one. Keeping that in mind, if we would end up with aces on there, that would have been another warning. Midnight would have been another warning on there, as well as the 5-2 to 2-5. So that's where that warning comes on that cousin one set. If you guys need rebuys, make sure you send them through. I will try to approve them. Didn't know what was the number on the dice there, Chris. I'm confused there. Buckeye's saying if one of your die is inputting, the other one's exporting, it means that your middle finger is a little crooked on the dice. I do know that with the middle finger, it does affect the double pitch more so. The inputting and exporting could be the way that they're coming down on the felt as well. Good morning, Craig from Obey Craps checking in. We're going to go back one more time, 3-2, 3-6. And we'll get our bet set up again here. 5-5-5 on the ATS. $15 pass line bet. And $3 crap check. And let's call that all bets set here. Dice out. So everybody's showing up today. We're up to 24 people. If I have to guess, Brian's not going live today. Normally, as soon as he goes live, everybody bolts out of here. I didn't check to see if he was going live, and I'm guessing he's not because it is a busy morning on a Monday morning. So dice out. 3, 2, 3, 6. Shooter number 2. A little bit long on that line zone. This time we have the 3-3 hard 6, the double degen. And the double degen is in chat today. So that is the 6 for our new point, double degen. I sent Jeff, Mid-Atlantic Craps, my list of dice calls. That's a primer on the top, by the way. This list of dice calls, he had asked about it. And okay, I got it, Chris. Okay, he says he's joking around. Single 12 last night was thrown with 96 rolls. Wow. I know I was on your show for a while, and I went degen on it and about halfway through, and then I scooted off the show. I had a couple family things to do yesterday, but anyhow, 3-3 hard 6. 6 is the point. Let's go again. 66 inside. Let's see if we can get this to hit this time. 15 hours on a 5 and 9. 18 on that 8. No pass line odds. We'll call that all bet set here. And we'll go back 3-2, 3-6. Dice out. And it's a little bit of a challenge right now getting that landing zone down again because I was practicing from 2 feet away all the last week and a half, 2 weeks. So let's get that down. That was a little bit better. We have a 2-6-8, the great 8. That would be Duracell. Give a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure that you do support your fellow content creators here. Every little bit of support is appreciated. So that is our first box hit here. Let's see if we can get out of the shooter on this next roll. We're going to do 22 inside pressure again. It's 1 unit on the 5, 8, and 9 that we're coming up. So we've got a total of $94 on the table with that ATS. So what's your dice call? What do you want your dice call to be, Ryan? We'll see if we can come up with one. You said you like the dice call, let's mark the point. Is there a number on that you like? The triple degen, 333. Oh, too funny. Good morning, Jeff. So anyhow, the 2-6, that was a single pitch on that right die. That was a single pitch on the left die, so that was ultimately a primary in front. We'll call it all bet set and dice out. 3, 2, 3, 6 is what we're sticking with here. And here we go. Ooh, a little bit wild on that left die, but we have the 5-5 hard 10, the Old Bay bushel. So that's going to be no help for me. Single pitch on that left die again. That's going to be an implosion on that right die. So there's a single towards us with an implosion on the right dice. So that means that we're still safe. So we're going to stick with the 3, 2, 3, 6. We're going to do the advanced rhythm roll in here in stages. So remember, if you're in that cousin 1 set, which is the 3, 2, 3, 6, if you have a explosion of 1 dice and a single pitch towards you, that's a warning sign. So you would switch over to that cousin 2 set. On the cousin 1 set, if you have an implosion of 1 of the dice and a single pitch away from you, that also is a warning sign for the 7. So make sure that you would switch over to the cousin 2 set. And the cousin 2 sets are going to be opposite. If you have an explosion of the dice with a single pitch away and the other, that's a warning sign, as well as an implosion with a single pitch towards you would be a warning sign. Good morning, Arnell. Arnell's talking about that was a rough weekend, and a good part of the people lost money this weekend. I was minimized my losses. Again, I came out about $300 down for the weekend. But Arnell, you should have went over to Hollywood with me and Demon Dog. We rolled at the table. We each rolled, and Demon Dog did well. I did really good, and I got a lot of my money back on that one roll. There was only 3 of us on the table. That was on the right table as you're coming down the escalators. So let's go all bet set 3, 2, 3, 6. Dice out. And we have a 4, 3, 7 ouch. So did not get out of this shooter. Second shooter in a row. Double pitch on that left die, primary on the primary on top on the right dice. So this is ultimately double pitch of the dice. And hopefully everybody's honest because I didn't lock you out on Crapsee. So hopefully everybody's honest on that. It's a double pitch of the dice. So we'll have to watch now for the middle finger part here. So he's saying when a point is set, let's mark the point. That's an idea. I have no problem with that. We'll see if we can put that in there. It's always nice because I sent through, like I said, and I'm having a hard time doing rebuys with Crapsee right now. Hopefully this week sometimes, guys, I do like inside numbers, Buckeye. Hopefully sometime this week we will have the Crapsee update so that way we don't have to do this rebuy crap anymore. I do like inside numbers normally. And if you watch my dice throw, and you're going to see that I trend. If I'm hitting inside numbers today, that's pretty much all I'm hitting. If I'm hitting inside number or outside numbers that day, that's pretty much all I'm hitting. If I'm hitting horns, that's all I'm hitting. So trending my dice rolls and trying to get into the trend really fast or identifying a trend really fast is usually pretty helpful when it comes to betting and that. So. Yeah, Kevin, every table's different. For example, the Hollywood Casino, they have 2 tables, and that's in Joliet. They have 2 tables there. The one on the left as you're coming down the escalator has a really super hard surface. It feels like there's nothing underneath the layout, but the layout is stretched so tight that it was actually a very bouncy table. It's actually a lot more bouncy than my table, which is really, really hard to believe, but it is. But the other table has the same underlayment, which is basically nothing, but the table thing is not stretched as tight. It's actually a very hard table. And when I was shooting the dice that second day, the dice actually came down and they would kind of stick or they would die really fast. So that was really, 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 really nice. So let's go all bet set here. Okay, so yeah, I heard you had a good roll yesterday, or no, that was awesome to hear. Everybody had a good roll at some time. It's just that they weren't tied together enough to make profit for everybody in that. So here we go. Dice out. 3, 2, 3, 6. And we have a 2, 5, 7 come out 7. So the 7s are dominant today so far, unfortunately. And that one, to me, appeared to be a good throw. I had a good grip. I had a good release. But that is, again, that single pitch on the left die, and that was an implosion on the right die. So, again, implosion on the right die, single pitch away on the left die. So let's do this one. So let's switch really quick over to the 3632, which is a cousin 2 set. Let's give that a couple shots and see what happens. And again, we are going to go. I never even placed any bets on that last one, so I had 0 profit, 0 anything. So let's go 555 on an ATS, $3 craps check, $15 pass line, and we'll call that all bet set. And dice out. 3, 2, 3, 3, 6, 3, 2. 3, 6, 3, 2. And we have a 3, 6, 9. That would be the center field 9. So our new point is going to be 9. So that's a primary on that left die. And that's going to be an implosion on that right die. So we are imploding quite a bit on that right die. Which I'm fine with having one dice off axis as long as I can start getting some predictability here. So again, we'll go 3, 6, 3, 2. Stick with the same dice set that we used the last time. Good morning, Navaldo. Again, let's level up just one time here. So instead of, actually, let's do this one. So let's go to the 128 across bet level. That's going to be $20 on a 4 and 10. And $20 on the 5, 24 on that 6 and 8. No pass line odds right now. We'll go all bet set. And let's take one hit. We'll come down one level on each hit here. So 3, 6, 3, 2. Dice out. Kind of veer towards the center of the table, guys. That was a terrible mechanics. And again, short roll guy. 6, 5, 2, 7. That would be the Bruce. So I think I got too much stuff going through my mind right now, thinking about the trip, thinking about black belt starting up here. But things are going to settle down as we get going in this series here. I have no doubt whatsoever in that. And we lost another $141 there. So we're down almost $300. So we're down $288. So obviously that would be a stop loss for me if I was in the casino at my local. I would either consider taking a break and then come back for a different session or calling it the day. We're going to continue on though with the program here. Again, we're going to go $15. Let's level it up here. Let's go $25 pass line so we can do a ladder recovery type thing. 555 on the ATS. Let's go with a $4 craps check this time. And we're going to do something a little bit different with our bets here once we get our point established. Again, we're going to go 3, 2, 3, 6. And all bet set here. 25 people watching on YouTube, 12 likes already. Make sure you smash that thumb button if you can, if you do enjoy this content. Make sure you jump on Crapsee and play along here and hopefully make some money pretty soon. This is going to be a good roll right here. I can feel it. Days out. Magic Aces, 112. So we got one side of the ATS, the hard part. Again, that's going to be a single pitch towards us on that right die. That's an implosion on the left eye. So implosion on the left this time, which is a change from what we were doing. And that was a single pitch towards us. So implosion and towards us on the cousin 1, 2, cousin 1 set is an okay result. So we'll go back 3, 2, 3, 6. And again, we're going to go up with a $25 pass line bet. We made $3 off of that, still $4 craps check. So that craps check did cover it for us, or did protect us there. And it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It's shooter number 4 for the day. So we have some very short rolls. Starting off 3, 2, 3, 6. Days out. I split apart just slightly when they left my fingers. But we have a 3-3 hard 6 double degen. That's the second time we've thrown that today. So what I'm looking for is some repeat dice combinations here. That's primary and top, by the way. So 6 is going to be our point. We're going to go to the 160 across bet level. So that's going to be 25 on the 4, 5, 9, and 10, 30 on the 8. No pass line odds. primary on top, so we're sticking 3, 2, 3, 6. Remember now, with the rhythm rolling, what we're looking for, since I'm using a 3V dice set, I'm looking for either 1, 3 or 1, 4 on top on the end of result. And if not, then we're going to have to start doing like quarter turns away and that type of stuff. And we'll explain that as we go forward here. Again, it's going to be a little bit slow going here for me for a little bit with the black belt as far as analyzing the dice. And hopefully every day will get faster, smoother, easier transitions. Dice out. Slightly long on that landing zone, and we have a 4-4 heart 8 square pair, and that's going to be a primary on the bottom. So we have 2 hardways here, and that's going to be our first hit. What we're going to do is we're going to take our bets down now from that 160 across level to the 128 across level. So we will go from 5 units across on each bet to 4 units on each. So we got $20 on the 4, 5, 9, and 10, 24 on that 8. Good morning, John. And again, that was primary at the bottom, so we're going to go back to the 3, 2, 3, 6, and we'll stick with that. And we'll go all bets set here. Dice out. One of the benefits that I did notice from shooting this weekend, and it was really nice, and this is something that Ed Robinson talks about when he does his throwing as well, is I was able to set my feet, and I did not move my feet from the time I started shooting to the end of my roll, and that is so nice to be able to do that. Where I don't have that luxury here when I'm doing the show because I'm constantly walking back and forth to get the dice and all that stuff. So dice out. And we have a 5-3-8, grade 8, so that's the second 8 that we've thrown here. And can we say this? This is the first shooter we might be able to get out of. Again, remember, we're going with a $10 table here. We have $62 brought back to the rack. Let's go down to the 96 across bet level, and we'll take one more hit at that, and then we'll come down and we'll be into the shooter for free then. So $62 brought back to rack. We have 118 currently on the table because of the ATS bet. That was a single pitch on that left die. That was a primary on the right die, so that's acceptable. 3, 2, 3, 6. We had a 3 or a 4 on top, so that's good. And let's go all bets set here. Dice out. Yeah. Mark Ryan says, never thought about setting your feet and not moving. And I did that as a suggestion that Ed had brought up many times in the past. And it's nice because what I do is I got a big belly. So I set my feet and I rest my belly. And the only thing that is after I shoot, I'll take my belly off and then I know exactly where the table was resting on my stomach. So that way you hit your same throwing position. And it makes it easier to judge your landing zone then and adjust your landing zone based off of feel, if you will, sight and feel. So 3, 2, 3, 6, dice out. And we have a 1, 3, 4 Big Joe from Craps Master Journey. The dice landed, they just kind of both rolled right to the left. Neither one of them touched the back wall. On that long roll that I had the dealer or the box man at one time says, dealer need to hit the back wall with both dice. One of the dice came up short, and it was kind of funny because it happened a couple times prior to him saying that, but he didn't say that until I was about on roll maybe 20. It's kind of funny. You start having a successful roll and they start picking things apart a little bit on you. But you know, we made enough money now to come down on our shooter. We're going to go with let's go 64 across here, and then we'll just start trend betting upwards. So we're going to go $10 on the 4, 5, 9, and 10, 12 on that 8. Remember, I am playing a $10 table at my local, and we're just going to start trend betting the number that's hit. So $89 brought back to the rack, 92 on the table. This first one actually will be a collect, and then we'll trend bet from there. So the last roll we had a implosion on the left eye, a primary on the right. So we're still safe with the 3, 2, 3, 6. Dice out. And 617 out. Damn it, damn it, damn it. So, short rolls, guys, and I apologize for anybody playing along in Crapsee. Not able to get any substantial length to these things. But hey, this shit happens. This weekend for everybody that happened. We had some pretty darn good dice shooters there. So Kevin says that's why he's considering only playing if he can get an empty table and playing by himself. Otherwise, he just may consider either not playing or just pass the dice. If you could find an empty table to play by yourself, that's awesome. I know for myself, send through your rebuys again, guys, because again, Crapsee's denying some of these. The Crapsee program is not me. I know for me, the times that I normally go to the casino, it's hard for me to get to a slower or empty table because of my work schedule, because of the way things go. We're down $292 for the day. So let's go one more shooter here. It's only 37 minutes into the stream. Let's level up one more time here and see if we can get this to come in and work for us. So let's go $50 pass line bet this time. Let's go with a $5, $6, $7 craps check. That should almost cover that. And we're not going to do any of the 8. Yeah, we'll do ATS. We'll go 555 again, just for shits and giggles. So let's do this one. So let's go 10 on the small, 10 on the tall, and we're not going to do the all at all. So call that all bet set. 3236. That 6-1 was a explosion of the dice and a single pitch towards us on the right one. So that was the warning sign that we should be watching for. But I don't feel that was a good throw because the landing zone was a little bit further away than normal. So thank you, John, for checking in here. And let's go all bet set here. Dice out. 3236. Slightly long, but we have a 325 Justice 5. That's the first Justice 5 that we've had today. So 3-2. Again, we're going to do this Dallas drawdown. We're going to start at 320 level here. This is our last bet either way. So this is kind of a desperation all in, but it's also laddering up to hopefully get a little bit of profits back a little bit faster. So we're going to go $50 on a 4-5, and I'm sorry, the 4, 9, and 10, 60 on the 6 and 8. We got $50 pass line bet. No odds on that pass line. Primary in the left die, that was a explosion on the right die, so that right die is off axis again, which we were doing earlier on. And switch over to the left there. Good morning, Carlos. So he wanted to meet up with us, but was not sure where we were at. Most of the people were at Harrah's for the majority of the weekend. Went over to Hollywood a few times. That was pretty much, I think, the gist of where they went as far as the casinos were concerned. But 3236, dice out. I did meet up with an individual that's a member, a subscriber of Fredo's channel. His name is Elo, so it was nice to meet Elo. Slightly long again. We have a 2-2. The Ian double deuce. So hard 4. And that is a nice hit. So that is perfect. That will be a nice little income there for us. Get some money back. Now it puts me at a dilemma here. Do I do the Dallas drawdown, which is cutting all my bets in half, going from that 320 to the 160 level, or now that I have $91 brought back to the rack, do I go to the 64 cross? I think we're going to do that. So that we're out of the shooter, almost out of the shooter, and gets most of our money brought back. So we have got 91 brought back to the rack, 124 on the table. So basically 2 rolls were out of the shooter, are close to being out of the shooter. That was a single pitch on that left die. That was an explosion on that right die. So it was a single pitch away in the left, explosion on the right. So that is a safe dice set. If it was a single pitch towards us, that would be the warning sign that we're trying to avoid. So dice out. 3, 2, 3, 6. And we have OMC Craps, all the dots and all the spots, midnight. And according to George, the 6612 and the 112 are the only 2 numbers that you cannot rhythm roll towards. That is one thing that actually kind of confuses me when he talks about that. So that's something I'm going to need to get some further clarification of. He says you can only get them by an accidental roll of some sorts, but single pitch on that right die, so single pitch away, and that was a explosion on the left die. That helped us with the ATS, but that's about it. So single pitch away and explosion is safe on the cousin 1 set. So 3, 2, 3, 6s again. Face out. And we got a 6, 2, 8 Duracell 8. So we got our number that we're looking for our collect. So we are definitely going to be in the profit finally on a shooter today. Wow. Again, blue collar craps, guys, trying to get out of the shooter as fast as possible, get into profit so that we can start trend betting your bets upwards. So we have got, actually that was 14 hours brought back. We are not in the profit yet. We need one more hit here. Darn it. So that was an explosion of that left die. That was a explosion of the right die. So we had a double explosion that time. 3, 2, 3, 6 we'll stick with, and dice out. Five, 3, 8. Great 8. So we're just pounding these 8s now. 8s are the strong number for the day. If we can even say there's a strong number, but it is. It's our 6th 8 for the day. 5, 3. Now we are out of this shooter. No, we're not, because I'm only getting 14 hours at a time. Damn it. That's one thing I gotta be mindful of. Now, options here. I can go for another shooter. I can pull the 4, 10 down since we're starting to hit the our inside numbers. Let's do that. Let's pull at 10 down right now, just for time being, so that we are in the profit by $5. 119 brought back to the rack, 114 on the table because of the ATS. And we'll call that all bet set. And also because that pass line bet is so high, we have it at $50. If we can hit the 5 again, that would be the preferred way of doing things, so we can get that $50 off the table and knock it down to a $10 pass line bet. And that's where I'm coming up short here on the profit loss situation. 3, 2, 3, 6. Dice out. And we have a 2-2 Ian double deuce again. Dice landed super tight together. They split apart. That's usually a bad thing to see. I'm going to call that a mechanical deficiency there. So we're going to stick with the 3, 2, 3, 6 because of that. But ultimately, that was a single pitch on that left die. That was an explosion on the right die, which you could definitely see that on the camera that it exploded. Both of them actually exploded outwards. So 137 brought back. Let's pick that 10 back up again now for $10. So 137 brought back, 124 on the table. Again, I'm hoping to get this darn 5 out of the way so we can reduce that pass line bet. And let's call that all bets set here. Dice out. And there we go. We got a 3-2-5, Justice 5. Dice kind of hit the back wall a little bit hard, but they came back off the wall semi-nice, kind of twisted a little bit. We got that 3-2-5, so we get that 5. We got that $50 back. So now we can bring that down to a $10 bet level, and that's going to help us with the recovery a little bit here. So let's take the $50 off, go back to $10. So we have 187 brought back to the rack, $89 on the table currently. Once we get a point established, we'll keep that 64 across bet level, and we're just going to start trend betting upwards now. Again, that was a primary on the left side. That was a explosion on the right side. So 3-2-3-6. All bets set here. Dice out. I had 26 people watching. I do appreciate everybody sticking in with me today. A little tough going in the beginning here. And I think the dice kind of did a little weird thing. I think the left die was the 1 and the right one was the 4. So we have the trucking camper, horse and buggy. So normally I can watch the dice and I know which one's which when it comes down to the end there, but thank you, John. So I think that's the right combination there. We're going to go back to 3-2-3-6 because I'm not entirely sure. We're back on that 5 again, so that's interesting. Again, we're at the 64 cross bet level here. We're going to keep it at that. If I took all the money off the table, I would only be down $104 for the day, which I guess is not the worst, considering that we had our first 4 shooters are very short rolls, and the quality of the rolls is very minimal. So we'll all bet set here. Dice out. So John's going to do a YOLO bet today, so make sure you check that out. We'll see if he implodes or explodes or hits it big time. So dice out. Dice split apart again, guys. 6-1-7. Ouch. So I think John iced me. That's a 6-1 frickin' 7, John says. So we got 12 minutes left. Let's go another shooter. I'm up for it today. So we made a profit finally on this one, a profit of $98. So got a little bit of the money back that we had lost prior to. We're down $193 for the day. So let's see if we can recover that even a little bit better here. What should we do? We're going to pass on the dice to the next shooter, so we're not going to do any line bets here. And we're going to pretend that somebody else is shooting the dice. So we're not going to do ATS, we're not going to do a line bet, we're not going to do any of that stuff. All bets set here. Dice out. 3-2-3-6. They split apart. What's on the front side? They split apart. So regrip them. That's usually middle finger not centered properly, and the thumb pushing too hard is normally what does that. Dice did cross after he landed. 6-3-9, center field 9. 9 will be our new point. And again, like I said, I filmed the black belt video. It's actually going to be pretty short. I would have had it mostly edited in. Thank you, Ed. Have a good President's Day to yourself as well. Thanks for stopping in. And again, we're going to go with the, let's go 96 across this time. I would have had most of the video edited, except I've been having problems with my computer that I do the editing on. So it's kind of delayed a little bit. So hopefully I'll have it done by the beginning of next week. Good morning, Clay, checking in on YouTube. So hopefully I'll have it edited mostly by next week so we can get that out so everybody can see it. So 96 across is what we're going with. Dice out. We're going to do sort of a reduction thing here. Let's see how well the dice land now. Again, they split apart right as they landed. So they're coming down and are landing really tight together. 5-6 mid-mo yo. I think that's the first mid-mo yo we threw for the day. And that would be true coming to us from above. That would be a single pitch on that left die. That's a single pitch on the right die. So there's actually a double pitch of the dice. So we got to be careful with that. Check our finger positions on the dice. Again, like I said, the dice did split apart on me and I had to regrip. So that may be one of the factors on why that middle finger was off center a little bit. So let's go dice out. A little bit long on the landing zone. We have a 3-3 hard 6 double teach-in. We've thrown a few of those today. Dice both hit the back wall. They both kind of gravitated to the left after they came off that back wall. So Chris made it. Welcome, Chris. And Chris will attest to my good roll that I had at Hollywood. I had made a comment to the girlfriend about that. I said, at least I had somebody there to witness it. And she kind of looked at me saying, what do you mean by that? And I said, it's always nice to have somebody from your group witness it so they can't be a he said, she said type thing. Good morning, Marble Fork. You're just listening in. So that was a 6. We got paid out on that 6. Let's do this. Let's do a 22 inside pressure. So we're going to do 1 or 2 times we'll pressure, and that should be enough to get us out of the shooter then. So inside pressure, we're at $15 on a 4 and 10, 20 on a 5 and 9, 24 on a 6 and 8. I don't have any pass line back because I'm pretending that somebody else is shooting, and they better not outshoot me. Just kidding. We'll go all bet set here. Dice out. Chris says he can verify. It was kind of fun watching, and I don't think Chris realizes that I noticed this, but let me cover it in just a second here. 6-5 mid-mo yo again. So Chris is a very observant craps player, if you will. He's a very good shooter. He knows how to do his bets. He knows all the etiquette and the protocols and all that type of stuff at the table. And when I first started my roll, Chris was standing right to my left. I was at stick left 1, and he was at stick left 2. And when I started shooting, he would take a step back. But the longer my roll became, the more steps away he took. And by the time I was done, I bet you every time I threw the dice, and I noticed this, Chris, just so you know, he was probably 6 feet away from me when I'd throw the dice, and he'd come in and give me a fist bump right after the roll. It was kind of fun watching that. And I just caught that out of the corner of my eye after a little while. But it was a fun roll. It really was. And it was good to be able to do that on somebody other, on a different table other than your own. So, oops, I'm going to cancel out here, guys, because I forgot to check my bets. Okay, I had nothing for my bets. Make sure you push all bets set again. And bet set, here we go. And I do too, Ryan. I always give the shooter room, but it was kind of funny because normally I just take a step back and then I'll get out of their view, their peripheral, if you will. But the longer the roll went, the further Chris walked away from the table. And that is, you know, kind of a cordial thing to do, guys. Give the shooter room. Do not interrupt them. If they're in the zone, you know, do whatever you can to support them. I mean, if they're like Chef Dice, where he wants that congratulatory run around the table, then, you know, support it. If you have a silent shooter and they just want to kind of be there, yeah. Lazy Dog says he does the same. He gets 5 times more than he receives. Anyhow, so that was the 4 there. That's our second hit. Let's go up one more time inside pressure. $25. We're at the 110 inside bet level. 25 on the 5 and 9, 30 on that 6 and 8. Still at 15 on the 4 and 10. Let's be our last hit here. Hopefully it's an inside number. That is a primary on that right die. That was a single pitch on the right die, so single pitch towards us. And all but set. And 617. So we did not get out of the shooter here. We just need that last box hit to get out of there. That's all right. It is the first day of the black belt program. We got post-trip jitters, post-trip conversation, a little chatty today, so the concentration level was also not down. Ryan says he also doesn't like to stare at them if he's at the other end of the stick. I 100% agree with you. And one of the things that I do, because I wear glasses when I'm shooting the dice, I'm always even thinking about, okay, what if the glare from the lights off my glasses hits them in the eyes or distracts them or whatever. John steps away so the shine off his head doesn't blind the shooter. John, you and I got the same problem on that. Let's go through our statistics for the day, which I'm almost embarrassed to show them here. But we went 6 shooters. We only had one decent roll, and that was the 9 roller. That was our only profit shooter for the day. Terrible start to our black belt level. 5.3 SOR, 4.6 SRR, and we have one come out 7. On this level here, I'm going to try to start tracking the box numbers, the BSR, so I will hopefully be reporting off on that. So it's going to take a little time after I get done with the live stream, counting out the box numbers that we hit and averaging that out. But anyhow, guys, we will see you tomorrow, hopefully. We got Ron checking in. Welcome, Ron. I've not seen you here for a while. We got Cadillac Jack on the kick.com site. Welcome, Cadillac Jack. So anyhow, hey guys, thanks for joining in today. My name is Joe. This is my Craps Master Dice Shooting Journey. Let's make it yours as well. I'll see everybody back tomorrow for day number 2 of the Black Belt. Have a great day. Be safe and be prosperous.